Ladies and gentlemen, welcome all in. COD Ireland Week 4 is here, the final week of the group stage of the league, and it has been a fantastic time, to say the least, when it comes to this league. I mean, it has been going really well. Teams have been enjoying it, and the divisions have been popping off. And for the final time in 2024, we are live here to bring you a game. Primal versus Last Hope. Both of these teams vying for a playoff spot in Division 1 Group B. But by the layouts of this table, only one of them will be able to get it. So huge moment for both of these teams as they face up against each other. Should be an absolute cracking series that we have ahead of us today. But folks, I hope we're all doing well. I hope you're looking forward to getting these games underway this evening. And we're going to be answering some exclusive questions as well when it comes to the future of COD Ireland and what we have prepped going into 2025 beyond the Season 1 playoffs, which of course will all be broadcasted live here on Twitch. We probably will miss a lot of the games from the first round or so, but after that we are scheduling the games so we can bring you the entirety of the playoff bracket from there, so you won't miss a thing when it comes to COD Ireland. And then we'll get a little bit into discussions in regards to maybe the next season and a couple of things that we're planning, and reveal some exclusive information about that. So it should be a lot of fun. Absolutely cannot wait to get into that. But for the moment, as I said, we do have this game ahead of us. And folks, unfortunately I was a little rushed to get this here this evening, so I don't have the graphic actually ready for you. So it's going to be a case of where you just believe me when I say it. In terms of where the placing of these two teams are, I've got it up on my screen right now in terms of our back end, so I can let you know. And I believe this is all up to date. There was some issues revolving around the back end throughout the season, but I think it's up to date now. So we have Primal, who are currently sitting 3-3, so they have 2 more games to play, including this one, and they are on 9 points, sitting in 6th place. So they have that final 6th place playoff spot at this current moment in time, whereas Last Hope are currently 2-5, so only 6 points on the board. Meaning, if I read this correct, given the map count and everything like that, I believe Last Hope need to win this game. They need to win their next 2 games. In fact, no, wait, Last Hope have played, yeah, so Last Hope have played 7 games, Primal have played 6 games. Last Hope need to win their last 2 games to, I believe, get up high enough, because there's going to be other teams playing as well who haven't finished their games. I don't think they would be able to beat Primal based on map count, so they need to win their last 2 games, and Primal need to lose, I believe, their remaining games. I don't know if Primal could get away with winning one more. Last Hope would still win, but the long story short is, for Last Hope here today, they will need to win this game and practically every other game, and needed to go swimmingly for them to make it into the playoff stages. Whereas Primal, I believe if they win this game here and now, they should be home dry and have just about secured that playoff spot. So it really is all to play for here in the last week. And welcome into people as well who are following. Seeing Liam come in with the follow, we do appreciate you. And then the comment coming in, what's up, when does registration for Season 2 start? That is information we're going to be revealing as the stream continues, folks. Promise we will get that out to you. It's sooner than you might think, is what I will say for now. We will be releasing that information very soon. For those of you who have tuned into the stream, as we have some exclusive announcements when it comes to Season 2, that being the main announcement, and of course we will reveal that all in due course. But for the moment, we do have a vital game to get into, so let's get checking out. And actually want to make sure that I have this screen right, and I think I do. Folks, let's get checking out the maps and modes that our teams will be playing in this one. So, ladies and gentlemen, map number 1, it will be Protocol, and it'll be Hardpoint. Again, we're kind of avoiding the maps that we've been seeing a lot lately, of that vault skyline scenario. We're getting a protocol. It's a change of pace, and it's going to be one of those maps where I believe a team who's dominant in this map will be feeling confident throughout the rest of the series, and you will see why on that. But not only just because of what you may think, but I mean, this map was plays in a way where if you're gelling as a team and you're able to beat down in the opposition, then you're going to be able to cause a lot of issues. But of course, we'll talk more about that in due course, because map number 2, folks, it's a bittersweet moment. We've got Rewind, Search and Destroy, and for those of you who have not heard, Rewind, Search and Destroy has been taken out, or Rewind as a whole has been taken out of the competitive rotation, meaning that when we return in January for our playoffs, Rewind will no longer be here. So ladies and gentlemen, for COD Ireland, this is the final time we will see this map. RIP Rewind. We hardly knew yet. A very fun map to play, and it has been a great one, but ultimately these teams will be trying to lock down on it and lock in for the final time to come away with that victory. And then we will go back to protocol for a map number 3. And again, as I was talking about protocol, the ARs can really dominate the lanes and just get them locked down and stop all movement. The subs, if they can get through areas, can cause a lot of damage. They can disrupt the lines. That underground is free reign for the subs to get through, get between the lines, take the ARs off their pedestals and try and enforce spawn traps wherever you may be. There's a lot of ways you can play this map. Ultimately, the flanks are going to be key, and how the ARs can hold their positions will be key as well. And if we make it to map number 4, we will find ourselves over on a Skyline Hardpoint. Skyline Hardpoint, those of you who may know it, it's one of those ones commonly picked sort of secondary to that of Vault, which seems to be the most common map for the moment. This is fast paced, this is intensive, it is guns blazing. A small map, spawns will often flip, but it's how you control the middle of the map that is pivotal for playing this hardpoint. How you can control the lanes from that kitchen side and P1 side can be vital in determining map control rather than the spawns themselves. And then if we make it all the way, folks, we go to that map number 5 this evening. We will be returning to protocol, this time for a search and destroy, where the pace comes right down. And folks, a protocol search and destroy in map number 5 would be a slow paced affair. These teams will have been feeling the pressure by this point, realize what's on the line, and try to come out with the victory against each other by any means necessary, whether that means killing the pace, whether that means picking it up. At this stage, I'd say it'd be most likely slowing it down if we reach that point. And ladies and gentlemen, those are your maps and modes for the week 4 Division 1 Group B game, Primal versus Last Hope. We are going to be getting this game underway very, very shortly. It is an absolutely massive game. These teams should be ready to go if we're on time with things. And week 4 Division 1 Group B, as said, it's the only game we're covering on this broadcast today because a lot of the teams have actually been very good and have been getting a lot of their games finished. So we don't have too many games left to run. And of course, the ones that are running, it's erratic on timing as people are trying to get them sorted in and thrown into their schedule. It's coming up to Christmas time, folks. We know it's a very, very busy time for a lot of people. But this will be a great game, I'm sure. There's a lot on the line for both of these teams. And it's the final COD Ireland game that we will be seeing in 2024. We will be returning for the playoffs, which will begin on January 3rd, and the teams will have until January 6th or 7th to get their initial rounds done, at which point we reach what they will be, what we will call and what they will also know as the broadcast rounds, where we are going to be scheduling those games to be played on broadcast in both divisions, so you'll be able to see everything that goes on there. It'll be a great spectacle, a great showcase for COD Ireland, and will set us all up as we will be rolling swiftly onwards with season 2 from that point. So trust me, folks, when I say it's one that you'll absolutely not want to miss. Should be fantastic. I think season 2 is going to be great. We're already working on a lot of improvements in the back end, a lot of improvements in terms of the content that you've been seeing, not just on this Twitch, but across all the social media. We're going to be looking to improve that as well. So trust me, folks, when I say you are not going to want to miss anything that comes from COD Ireland. The season 1 was the trial run, it was the tester, it was to understand what we were up against going into the new year with this new title, Black Ops 6, and figuring out the best way to bring you guys the best possible Call of Duty experience. COD Ireland bringing you LANs, bringing you tournaments, bringing you leagues, and as I just said with the LANs, we are swiftly in talks with people, talks that will be resuming in the new year to bring maybe even more than one LAN showcase scenario to you guys in 2025. So if you want to stick around for that, make sure to give us a follow here on Twitch. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media. and go and join our Discord, which is over 1,000 members. Call of Duty in Ireland really is popping. Whoever told me that Call of Duty is dead in Ireland doesn't need an Irish scene, absolutely mistaken. That's what I heard before we got into COD Ireland, folks. That's the rhetoric used to be. And we're already proving them very wrong with what we've got going on here, folks. We're going to get joined into this lobby. We're going to get ourselves sorted so we can get these games underway. So make sure not to go anywhere, folks, as the final series on broadcast of 2024 and the final game we will cover, the group stage of Season 1, begins in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, map number 1 about to get underway. A protocol hardpoint. An absolutely massive game for both of these teams, beginning right here and now, as Primal want to secure that playoff spot. Last hope. This is their last hope, their last chance really to make a push for that playoff spot. So it truly is all to play for here, folks. I actually believe we may have had a little mistake here, as we will try and get ourselves sorted. 1 second, folks. We will cut to here and just make sure that we get it sorted. Apologies, folks. I believe it was an issue on my end. We will try and get that fixed as soon as possible. Get right back into it. Shouldn't take just more than a few moments, folks. Don't go anywhere. Go once again with map number 1, an issue that was on my end. I can let you know what the issue in fact was. It was the fact that I was accidentally on spectator and not codcaster, but I caught it before the game had fully started, so we got a quick restart there really quickly. Apologies to the team for that. There's a technical error on my end. I will hand in my notice immediately. But folks, as I said, massive game. Really looking forward to getting into this one. It is huge for both of these teams, so if you are here supporting them, make sure to show them some love, because I'll tell you one thing, they absolutely need everything that they can get here. Best of luck to both of them, as here we go. We start on board with Flammy B on the side of Primal. And folks, there may be slight color issues as well, as that was also being a bit of a problem, so forgive us for that. Primal are in fact in, I believe, the blue. So Primal in the blue, Last Hope in the pink. Apologies for the slight color mix-ups that were there. My game is causing a whole host of issues this evening. I'm even getting slight freezing from time to time, but I'm hoping that's not coming through on your end, as we're just going to try and get through this one and cover as best as we can. And to begin with, Primal have done a good job of answering back here, sitting on the point. Limited absolutely popping off with that sub, turns brilliantly as well to pick up that kill, and is popping off here to begin with. Four on a 4 streak, 5 and 1 already. The pistol out, eventually taken out, but Exium, Dylan and Dynamo combining for a nice couple of kills there, meaning that they are going to be still in the lead on this point and trying to control over towards this P2 as well. And folks, Primal are dominating here at the moment. A few kills coming in here and there for Last Hope, but no hope in terms of getting the team pushed, because they just get wiped. And Limited has started off fiery hot as not Infinity FPS, that's what it said on my screen, because again, as I said, the settings haven't saved. It's Last Hope. As you can tell, folks, the settings haven't changed themselves from the last game. As Phenom, should I say Last Phenom, getting the push through here. The trades coming in, but once again, it's none other than Limited picking up a huge 2, and Limited just getting his kills in batches of 2, it seems. That really does clear the way for the rest of his team to be going in for the squad wipes, as it is going to be a relatively easy hold. They've read the spawns and flipped them to perfection here, as you can see as well. Folks, again, for those who are just joining us, it is Primal who are in that blue color, and it is Last Hope that are in the pink. It was a codcaster error on my end, which just did not seem to save its settings correctly. I think it's on top of the whole host of PC issues I seem to be having today, but we will move as Limited on 12 and 3 now, make that 13 and 3 on the 6th streak, nearly making it 7, eventually getting taken out. But folks, at this rate, we'll have to just make it Limited Cam, as he is limitless in ability, continuing to wipe squads. As Fat Kratos, love the name, gets 2 before getting taken out on the point. And you have to give a lot of credit to Primal as well. When they're in a little bit of trouble, they're picking up the kills, but in those moments where there's a 2 or 3 down, they don't rush. They play it safe, they play on the point, they wait for the push, they get the trade, and continue to get that time ticking up, as we now move to a vital point here over on P4. We know this is the money hill. Every hill has been a money hill for Primal so far, and they will be looking to keep that form up, as we're once again on board with Limited, who's just searching for these kills at the moment, but has players catching him up as well in terms of the stats. You have Dynamo on 13, Exium, Dylan on 12. It's only Flammy B who's on the slightly less, but only because there's not really that much else that he can do, not much else his team can do as a unit. It is perfection as they continue to lock this down, and what is a vital game for both of these teams, as folks, Primal, as I said at the beginning of this game, can guarantee themselves a playoff spot here, whereas Last Hope, this is their last hope of potentially getting a playoff spot. They would need to win the rest of their games, including this one, and so far they are not off to a great start, not even back on P1 yet, and over 100 points in the deficit. It may just be too much of a mountain for Last Hope to climb here, as given the positioning that they're in, they may not just find themselves unable to qualify for the playoffs in Division 1. They may find themselves relegated to Division 2 next season if they choose to come back. Whereas, folks, we will have more divisions than ever in Season 2, your first exclusive in terms of what we're bringing you at Season 2. More divisions is exactly what this league needs, and it is what we'll be bringing. So do stay tuned for that, and for more information on season 2 we will reveal towards the end of the broadcast. As Limited, again, just still slaying out 21-6, sitting on that point on a 3 streak, over a minute left. The flood coming in from Last Hope. How will they be able to deal with this one? Limited is just on the aggressive, and he picks up a 3. It's Owen, the last alive, to take him out, who is managing to stay on that point, but limited, I keep saying limitless, but Limited finding it all too easy at the moment to just maneuver freely through this map, and is really being the aggressor as well, which I think is being the difference maker. Getting just pushed up and challing people sort of carefree, whereas Last Hope are constantly being caught on the back foot when it comes to these challs, not really being able to make anything of it, and not really taking the surprise to the opposition. The opposition always knows that they're kind of there just free for the chal, free for the picking, and I think Last Hope, if they have any hope here of the rest of this series, they're going to need to find a way to up the pace ASAP. And now it's Phenom just trying to do some damage around the back. The stun maybe making life a little more difficult, but they are hanging on to a vital point. So we move swiftly onto P3, where Primal for the most part seem to have regained on this point. Going to be trying to hold it once again on with Limited, 28-10 now, but Last Hope with a couple of wipes, and dare I say maybe they just started slightly cold, and now that they're warm, maybe too little too late in regards to this map, but in terms of this series, they may have just made things a little bit more interesting, as, you know, holding some vital points. And Phenom, definitely the diamond in the rough when it comes to his side. 20-18 now. You know, the only one really keeping up the numbers with the rest of the Primal players. Of course, you do have Kratos and Owen as well, getting a little bit better, but not really touching that top end of Primal, which is, you know, being the difference maker. As even Flammy B, the player's numbers weren't quite up the same as his teammates, coming in with a 3-piece, adding a 4th to it, and getting rotated perfectly onto this next point. Does he have the read of the spawns though? Does he know that they were still coming behind him? It looks like he does, as he's going to pick up another on a 5 streak now. We will stay on board, as he is just popping off here, desperately trying to catch up to his teammates. But if this ends up being largely uncontested time, that is going to be the map. Exium Dylan, the last on the point, has the pistol out, maybe the slight ego chow. But last XC, 8-27, not a great game for him, as he is struggling here big time. But 225-77 now. It is Last Hope who run the risk of being 100 point clubbed here, but you have to give them credit. In the last few hills, they have done a far better job of actually breaking into these points, and when you're at this stage, you know, they do need the win, but they also need to take the small victories going into the rest of this series, because if they focus too much on the big picture and they get down and out from this one, they may be down and done as far as the season is concerned. But onwards we go once again to P number 1. Dynamo with 1 before being taken out by that Phenom, who really has been a Phenom for his side. Make no mistake about it. 26-22 in a game like this, given the way it's going for his team, is a terrific kill amount to have, and very nice score. But of course we'll want it to count for more than just individualism. We'll want it to count for the win, and as that is a 3 down, it is very much looking like Primal are going to get it done and dusted here. Primal on the push, Flammy on the push. That is a 4 down, and ladies and gentlemen, that is surely going to be 250-103. You would think that is going to be the case, and indeed it is. 250-103, and game 1, map 1 goes the way. Again, folks, it's lying on your screen. It is Primal. As I said, folks, the settings didn't save on my end, unfortunately, but it is Primal dominating that game 1. 250-103. They are your victors here. A fantastic performance from them. It really has to be said. Absolutely popping off, but it was Flammy who had the moment there. Congratulations to Primal, who had a terrific game. Folks, do not go anywhere because we are going to try and get these issues fixed rapidly in terms of the COD caster so it is ready for map number 2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, moving swiftly along to your map number 2 for the final time that you will see on COD Ireland. Our rewind. This rewind has been taken out of the competitive rotation in place of Hacienda, which will be reflected in the playoffs. But best of luck to both of these teams as they load up on this map for the final time for a bit of search and destroy. And we will start on board with Limited, star player from the previous game, going on this offense. Fat Kratos and Owen with the first 2. Primal in a little bit of trouble early doors here. Gonna need to try and rotate out. They're playing the hole at the moment. Gonna try and get the pick on Owen. Is this where the trade comes in? Flammy B, he didn't pick it up on a 1v4. He's gonna get traded out surely, and he does. Round 1 going the way of last hope. The first blood being crucial, the second kill being even more crucial, leaving Primal in the middle of nowhere. As Kratos comes in, gets the job done. Not the cleanest kill you will see, but a kill nevertheless. Last hope 1-0 up. Could this be the final search and destroy we see on the COD Ireland broadcast in 2024? Flammy B on the push. Backs out of sight quick. Did he get his information? It looks like he did, and he got taken out. Overzealous with that peek and pays for it. As Kratos now on a 3. Terrific start to this S&D. As he peeks the wide, gets another, and he is controlling the range immaculately here, but Limited is there for the trade, and he's traded himself as Owen went in there to pick up the bomb. And Last Hope seemingly completely aware here as they go 2-0 up that maybe the aggression was the key that they were missing in that first hard point, as they've been controlling the kills in the search and destroy so far. A nice 2 rounds for them that were by no means flukes. And onwards we go. Round number 3. Primal looking to get around to the board. will pick up that bomb and get themselves moved over to this cross. And you can see who's set up and why. Kratos known already. Weak from that, I'm sure. And now here comes the push. That's Exy though. Sitting inside, just waiting. The shots coming in. As this is the setup here. Who breaks first? You can see Phenom as well in around on the flank. Owen trying to hold on the bomb side. Picks up one with Fat Kratos. Massive too. But that is traded. Overzealous with the peaks. But then Kratos picks up another. And now this flank coming in could be huge. It leaves Flammy B, but Flammy B got the kill. We missed it. 1v1. And Flammy B knows exactly where to look for this one. An aid comes in. It completely baits him out. And Last Hope take another round. The perfectly placed nade forces the push off the position, meaning he was a sitting duck to the barrel of Last Z Phenom, who are running the show here in this search and destroy. Primal struggling to find an answer here. In what looked like a series that was going to quickly become hopeless for Last Hope. They found just a little bit. But of course, even these map counts are going to be huge if they want to make their way through to the playoffs. And it looks like Flammy B's completely aware, but Phenom picks up one as well. 3v3 now, Flammy B back to watch. A little bit of fortunate timing to get out with his life there. As he throws a nade at the door. Of course, that is not really going to do anything, and a little bit of a standstill now here. It seems Last Hope recognizing that they need to get this bomb back. Flammy B, he's heard the door. He knows they've picked up the bomb, and they've rotated out. If Flammy goes for the chase, he'll be awaited with the barrel of Phenom, who slowly decides to try and peek around the corner, and he gets taken out by Flammy, who played that patiently. And Primal on their way to potentially securing a vital round back for them, as Last Hope now getting rotated over towards those bomb sites. You can see in this map here, just strange, Primal have very much just decided to focus away from these bomb sites, which may come back to bite them. But of course, they'll know where to converge onto once this B bomb goes down, as Limited, I'm sure, will get moving on the outer, and he does. He knows where to pick up Owen. That was perfect. Now a 3v1 scenario. Way too much time to deal with here. Kratos going to need to go huge, and he does with one. He's had a great game so far, 7-2, but he's going to need to have an even greater moment as Flammy knows where to check. Flammy picks up the kill, and it will be Limited getting in there for the defuse to give Primal their first round back in this search and destroy. A vital round for them. They needed to stop the momentum of Last Hope, and it looks like they have done. A map on the board, or a round on the board, should I say, for Primal. Moving swiftly along now, round number 5, this search and destroy heating up even more. And folks, I hope you'll just pray for me as well. GP usage 52 degrees. I was hoping it'd be a little bit warmer to warm up this room because I am frozen. But you know who is red hot right now? It is Primal. Pick up a nice 2, but once again, it is Kratos answering back. Kratos now 8-3, been an S&D warrior, but Primal have that bomb down in A, and they do have that man advantage. Owen stunning to cause a little bit of a bait, maybe. It's him and Kratos are going to try and rotate into this A position now. It's actually a 2v2. I did not see that other kill. Perhaps I missed it, but it is Limited now watching, and Limited doesn't take out Kratos. Now that was a whiff, and Owen picks up one, and that defuse is going to come in, folks. Primal had that one there to take. And a couple of whiffy shots, to say the least, gives Last Hope that 3-round advantage once again, and only 2 away from coming away with a search and destroy and going tied in this series 1-1. And remember, folks, if we end up going to a map 4, we will be going on to a Skyline hardpoint, which I think you would argue that when it comes to a map number 4, that is going to be very, very momentum based. So whoever picks up momentum now could do the damage going forward later. And if that is last hope, then Primal may find themselves in a little bit of trouble. Round number 6 now. Limited with the stuns, with the nades, and not getting a hit, making sure to rotate out with his life. That's what Primal have been failing to do in this search and destroy. As a Dynamo taking himself out with his own grenade. I was just about to praise them for finally playing their life, and then they go and team kill themselves like that. Primal have been horrendous at playing their life in this search and destroy, to say the least, folks. Make no mistake about it. And Owen now picking up the first blood. That bomb was going down for last hope, and Primal are floundering. As Flammy B will pick up one, get that AR. But Limited picks up another, 2v2. This is on. They've picked up those 2 kills in time. Kratos gonna have to go huge. He picks up the 2. They both pick up the 2. The respective players left alive. And last hope, 1 round away from tying this one up. This has been a crazy game that I don't think anyone would have suspected. Folks, if you're enjoying what you're seeing here as well, this is the last broadcast of 2024, but we will be back for the playoffs in the first week of 2025. So if you're enjoying what you're seeing here, make sure to follow the Twitch channel. If you're watching on YouTube after the fact, please do follow our YouTube. I want to try and get more content out on this YouTube channel as soon as possible. And make sure to follow us over on TikTok as well. And stay tuned for announcements on Season 2, which will happen tonight. But for now, Dynamo pushing through. Flammy B with the first blood. Dynamo going to try and get this bomb down. But the player who has been popping off, Fat Kratos, with another one, 11-3, pulls out the RCXD. This could be a huge moment as we're on board. Where does it go? Phenom with 1. It is all up to Flammy and Dynamo, who are going to get pushed by this RCXD. Will it do the damage though? It's now Dynamo, the last alive. He is in huge trouble in this 1v3. That RCXD in play as well. He's been made weak. That car is surely going to chase him. Or did it blow up? It did blow up, but it won't matter. He gets traded out. Owen with the kill. And that defuse is going to come in, folks. And I don't think any of us saw this coming. But Last Hope have come away with this search and destroy to tie this series up at 1 apiece. And I wonder who saw this coming, folks, because I most certainly didn't. Congratulations to Last Hope, who have given themselves a lifeline in this series and potentially in the COD Ireland League. Long way to go for them yet beyond this game, but Primal just needing this one to secure themselves a playoff spot. Well, that map has thrown us for a wild one. Primal seemingly dominant on respawn. Last Hope enjoying the non-respawn, and as we go to a control, that could be a huge decider. One would think if Last Hope take this control, perhaps they'll need to take it on a map 5, given the hardpoint prowess of Primal. But if Primal take this one, they'll go onto a map where they'll be feeling confident in their gunny and onto a respawn they seem to like. And ladies and gentlemen, we are not delaying. You love to see it. We are going straight into this map number 3 as we return to protocol for a little bit of control. The pace is 90, but will the kills be mighty? We'll find out in just a few moments. A massive moment for both of these teams. A playoff spot on the line. Who is going to get it? Best of luck to both of these teams. Map number 3. Here we go. And we'll start on board with Owen. On the defend now, Last Hope. Dynamo on the point. What's he going to be able to do here? What he's going to be able to do here is get absolutely beamed by the Phenom. But the kills coming in is limited on the flank. Flammy B there with him as well. A big 2. And now maybe just trying to play the kills a little bit here. Dynamo picks up one as well. The capture of this point coming in. Dynamo getting pushed up. This is going to be a trip stack. Owen getting taken out as well. They have the reads of the spawn to perfection here. Primal, like, will they be able to take out Kratos? They will. It's now up to Phenom. We're on the back to do the damage here, but he has been spotted. 2 ticks gone at A already. He's going to cook a nade, and he's going to get taken out by Dynamo as well. He gets horrendous timing, and that A is gone. 26 to 23. Primal with the quick cap. Plenty of time to work now. This B, as Last Hope, have picked up a couple of kills, seemingly reset. Now going to be trying to get themselves in position to hold off the B push. 23 versus 22, 1 minute 50 to work with. Dynamo made weak on that lane. Now going to try and go underground, where he's going to run in to Last Exi and make short work of him, as that's a 3. This is surely a 4 after the trade. Kratos, though, has gotten out with his life. He's thrown the stun in as well, and potentially thrown a spanner in the works, waiting for his team to get back before resuming with the kills. And he picks up 1. He's going to take out Limited. And ladies and gentlemen, Kratos has just had a heroic moment for his side. A player popping off in the search and destroy, continuing to bring that to this control. As if he hadn't stayed alive there, that was a 4 down and a stack on the point. But he stays alive. He's in position, waits for his teammates, gets back on the push and stays alive. But Primal still getting the kills. But it's Kratos still popping off. Another 3 down, and Kratos is on 1. And he picks up the sub as well to go back up top. Kratos having the series of his life here on the overall, but Limited puts a quick stop to that. And is going to be able to take out Owen as well, it looks like, as they are still trying to work towards this point. A bit of unfortunate timing for him means the last Phenom picks up that kill. We do have the bird's eye view there briefly, but Flammy and Dylan combining for more. And 13 versus 9. Last Hope, they've put up a great defense here at times, but they are running out of lives. And time is going to be an issue, as Last Hope are going to lose another 2 surely. The gun running out of ammo, and the turn on coming. That was a huge moment, not checking the clip. But a contested spot here now, 8v6. Phenom on the defense, and they're going to try and get that tick down, but surely this push is going to be it, as Dylan picks up 1. He doesn't get the 2 though. Phenom helping his side hold on, picks up another 6v5. Huge wave of kills. They might be able to hold on here. Phenom, he can't be stopped. 12 and 5 on a 5 streak. Spots Dylan. Plays his life. Exi and Kratos for 2. Limited with 1. It's a 3v4. 10 seconds left. 2v4. Phenom, he's got huge. And Last Hope have just about held on to this defense. 5 ticks gone. But they hold. That is insanity, ladies and gentlemen. 1 map apiece to each of these sides. On map number 3, Last Hope were looking in trouble on that B, but they just about hold on. Remember, folks, 5 ticks for the side of Primal. The ticks could be huge. Onwards we go. Round number 2. Primal now on the defense. We'll be hoping to have a better defense. Keep that tick count low. Limited has gotten round. He's going to pick up 1. Will he know where to look for the 2? He will, but he won't be able to pick it up, as Phenom continuing to pop off. He's on a 9 streak now. 60 to 5. Eventually he gets wiped. But folks, Phenom has been phenomenal for his side. Him and Kratos been huge components in Last Hope still being in this one. As that top push is going to come in, and Primal are going to pick up 2, make that 3, nearly 4. I don't know how it wasn't in the end up. But then the trades coming in, and Primal are slaying out here. They are keeping Last Hope pinned back, but then you have a 2-piece that could change things. I believe that is now 3? Or maybe that was just 2 and I made up an extra kill. That is very, very possible. But Fat Kratos trying to pick up shots. It's not happening. Primal picking up more kills. And Primal are constantly in a weird scenario where they just are seemingly 2 or 3 kills away from going on an extreme life advantage, but they're always kept just about within distance. But as I say that, it looks like they're going to have done enough here for an immaculate defense. But Phenom on this B, hoping to at least get a tick or two. That could be huge in the grand scheme of things, as they do pull it back ever so slightly on that lives count as well. Only 4 in the red. Dynamo though going huge, but getting taken out. But then Primal picking up a nice wave of kills, leaving Owen sort of the last to be able to get to a point. Maybe Kratos will reach that A. It looks like he will, and they're going to be able to start progress on this tick, but it's going to need to be perfect from here. But that's a huge 2, but then a huge 3 from Primal. Looks like it's done the job, and they will have evened this one up. I am mistaken, because Owen managed to get himself back to B, trying to get that second tick. They are spreading themselves thin here and running out of lives as Primal take that round. And folks, the defensive rounds are the easier ones to win here on Protocol Control. And if you're doing the math, Last Hope only have 1 tick to their name. Primal have 5. A huge difference already. The stack coming in, Dynamo capitalizing before the grenade sends him down the steps. Round number 3. Massive round for both of these teams, but I think Primal smell blood here. Last Hope have no choice now but to put on a strong offense. Limited picking up 1. That's a 3. Or Last Hope actually on the defense here. My apologies. So they will definitely be looking to take this round. It is that offensive round now that's going to be key for them. Looking very much in a position where they will have to take an offensive round if they want to come away with the victory in this series. Exium Dylan picking up 1. Limited with another. And Exium Dylan just holding that top. Phenom picking up 1. Exi has not had the best series by any means. 8 and 17. You have Phenom 21 and 10. Kratos 14 and 11. And then Owen 8 and 17. Kind of a huge disparity between this team that, you know, is ultimately seemingly costing them in key scenarios, where you go across to Primal 17 and 12. 10 and 16 from Flammy. But then you have the rest. You have Dynamo 20 and 14. Exium 10 and 12. For the most part, they seemingly as a unit are a little better Primal, except for Flammy B, who had sort of lesser moments. But from what we've seen at this side, you have a 3 that can pop off versus kind of a 2 of Last Hope, and I think that's kind of the big difference maker kill wise, should I say. But Last Hope are having a terrific round. No ticks for the side of Primal. The best defensive showing yet. 15 v19, make that 18. As Flammy B now on the point. It's actually a triple stack on the point. That was huge. Flammy B sticking a nade to his teammates back and wiping themselves out in the process. But they do get a ticket A, meaning they are now on 6. This means Last Hope have to win an offensive round if they want to come away with the victory in this map. Leaving themselves with a monumental task now. 9v14. Last Hope, they actually just need to make sure they try and protect the victory on this round, to say the least, as actually hasn't been spotted, but the shots aren't there. And now 8v12 with a minute left to play. Primal may smell a little bit of blood here, and Last Hope had the chance to seal the deal there that round and wasted it. And now 7-9. This is where things get scary, as you have Flammy on the flank as well. Gonna try and get moved into this bunker area, get control of it, and get ready for that push onto B. It's 7v8. They've got the reads as well. That's a 3 down. Last Hope sold the jerseys a little bit here. A couple of seconds away from winning this defense. Now floundering 6v6. Phenom taking out Flammy. Owen getting another. Primal, their last set of lives to do anything. 6v4 here. It would be a tough ask, but it is possible. Limited, he turns, but he doesn't burn. Phenom and Exi with a big 2. Now 2v6. That will be all too much for Primal, and Last Hope win a defensive round, but once again, just about, and meaning, given that score, they absolutely have to win an offensive round. So they need to win this next one to pick up the victory, and that is going to be a hard task to say the least, given how this one has gone. Last Hope, 2-1 up now in this map, but by no means safe. As a matter of fact, things are looking increasingly dangerous for them. Onwards we go. Round number 4. On board with limited. Getting pushed straight through. Getting a huge kill. And already Last Hope. They are pushed back in their spawn as Limited will look to pop off with this sub. He picks up one. A bit of unfortunate timing for him, but he knows where to check. But he does get killed as Phenom has the help. And Flammy B picking up one in that building as well, as Primal still managing to kind of dance their way around. Last Hope trying to get out of spawn. Phenom is going to pick up that kill, just held on to his ammo. But well played, made sure not to fire all at once. And now is going to continue to watch this back, reads the spawns, picks up Exium Dylan, but limited there eventually for the trade. Phenom has been trying his absolute hardest for his side, but there's only so much one man can do. 35 and 17. Imagine being double positive, but really struggling in a series. You hate to see it as he picks up a huge 2. And he got out of spawns, picked up a wave of kills, then gets taken out and practically clears the spawns for his side. This is an MVP performance to say the least, but whether or not it's enough to get his side over the line is the big question. 19v17, they've been purging lives quickly, only 2 ticks gone a day as well. Not looking good here as Flammy B picks up 2, and folks, that could be the nail in the coffin for this round as Primal are once again going to get pushed up into spawn and have done a great job of decimating the lives. Flammy B a little bit blind there, not seeing Last Xe pushed through. Last Xe now has managed to get himself onto this A point, and that blindness may be costly over towards this A now. The peak's going to come in top, but too little too late. A quad stack, meaning they at least make an effort, but they're going to need to get a clean 4 and a solid hold, and Primal are just after getting that on them. 17v7. It's very much looking nigh on impossible from this point. But Kratos with 1, Kratos with 2. Kind of incorporating a little bit of that AR play that we did see in that Search and Destroy, controlling the range. But now Kratos is probably going to run into limited, but he did time it well. Big kill, but 14v5. A huge kill coming in there on the long from Flammy B. And I think it's going to be a little too much for the side of Last Hope. Flammy B with 1, Exium with 1, and Primal taking a huge round now, which will put them 2-2. And remember folks, another map still to come after this one. Map 4 is on the cards, where we will be going to a Skyline hardpoint, so not the end of the world by any means, but if you've been tuned in since map number 1, you will see, or have seen, how Last Hope seemingly struggle with those search and destroys, or with those hardpoints. And hardpoint on Skyline, if you're not a fan of hardpoint, Skyline is certainly the map you don't want to be playing. So they will find themselves in big trouble going into this next map. So if they want to win it, it's looking very likely they will need to take it to a search and destroy. If they want to do that, they're better trying to win this map than the next one. They just need one good round Dynamo picks up 1, but not after 2 go down for his side. And another kill coming in. Last hope for the first offense having a decent start as Kratos with the reads. They're going to be able to hold from front here. At least a tick will come out of this. They have just locked in here, Last Hope. They're just reading them like a book now. Primal, did they not just change the push at all? And Last Hope knew everywhere to look. 2.5 ticks gone. That is going to be all of them unless the push comes in here. But that is a huge 2. That's a 3. It's now all up to Kratos, who can't do it. And Primal hold on to that A point just about. And now start trading back some kills themselves. They're going to go towards this B site, but Flammy B completely aware that this will be the next push, and he's going to pick up 1, he's going to pick up 2, he's going to pick up 3. Disgusting. A 4-man wipe. 22v20. Flammy B on smoke as the spawn trap potentially in again, but Phantom picking up 1. Limited though, taking out Owen. Kratos gets horrendous timing to continue the run of Flammy B, who then get taken out on the trade as Phenom 43 and 24 trying to salvage this game for his side. 2 ticks gone a day, but they are purging lives now. 19v16, only 30 seconds left. Huge kill that goes the way of Flammy B. This A point is being defended well. The kill feed is just too green for the side of Last Hope, as Dylan now on a 5 streak, and Last Hope put up a very strong offensive effort there, but Primal locked in and looked like they have them locked in the back of spawn as it's now 17v10. You have Phenom on A trying to do something for his side as he'll pick up 1. He gets a little bit unfortunate timing on the spot again, but now trying to get B. There's the same strategies before. They're stretching, but to no avail. No one's going to get anywhere in time unless Owen runs. He picks up 1. He's going to dive onto the point. That's a double. They have a chance, but they need this kill. Flammy B with 1. The stack, it'll mean the cap, but at 14 to 4, that's not going to mean much. Ladies and gentlemen, this looks like it's going to be it. You have Phenom on nearly a 50 bomb for his side, but that is not going to count for anything as they will not come away with the win on this map. So close yet so far for Last Hope. Just not getting enough ticks on that offense has been the death of them, as they will be going into a hard point, which will be a very, very tough ask. That time running down. 12v2. Looking very much like now it is going to be 3-2 to Primal. You got to applaud for holding on, but they won't be able to hold on any longer as Primal come away with map number 3. And unfortunately for the side Last Hope, it is Primal that are looking like they're the kings of the respawn. And Primal just one more map away from guaranteeing themselves a playoff spot. If I've done my math correctly, it guarantees them a playoff spot. And if they guarantee the playoff spot, that means Last Hope are out of hope in terms of getting into the Division 1 Group B playoffs. If Last Hope want to get into those playoffs, they have to win every single game they play, and Primal need to drop the last game that they have to play. Whereas, as I said, Primal can secure it right here and now. I believe they would secure that 6th place, and the Group B of the Division 1 Season 1 will be all set. And ladies and gentlemen, we're not wasting any time. We are going straight in. Map number 4 is going to be that Skyline hardpoint. It is going to be a mixy affair, to say the least. Best of luck to both of these teams. Should be an absolute cracker. Well, I think Primal will be thinking themselves that they can come away with the victory. We eagerly await the countdown. And here it comes. On board with Limited. Here we go. Pushing for that kitchen control early. Limited picks up a kill, but Kratos picking up 2, including the first blood, and gonna make it 3 here. Last Hope. Great start from them, as they have the spawns that they want, they have the hill that they want, and now it's time to rack up the time. But of course, you'll see underneath you do have a little flanker on a little bit of a journey here in Flammy B, who's going to go up the zip. Will he get good timing for 1 and 2? He absolutely will. A huge wave of kills that could guarantee the spawns. He knows where to look in kitchen. The communication down to a T. As Flammy B now having control of this kitchen, Primal having control of the hill. And this hard point has gotten off to a great start for Primal. That first wave of kills, they can go their way, but talk about a regain. Using that underground flank to perfection as Limited picks up 1. They're now on the time, but shaky shots means Kratos gets 1, but not before Dynamo in there with the trade, and it is indeed a checkerboard kill feed to Dynamo coming out on top of that one. And Flammy B continuing the push out here, has Owen stunned, picks up 1, Exy on P1. A little bit weak, a little bit shaken, not stirred is Dynamo. On the hold here, double positive so far, 6 and 3 on a 2 streak, racking up that time, 45 seconds in hill and counting already. That's a great showing. Dynamo with the magic as he gets taken out by Kratos. Flammy B in with the trade though, and Primal instantly claps on that point when there's any sort of danger. When it looks like it might be gone, they're back on it in a flash. Nexium on the scrap, and here we go with the rotation where Last Hope are holding up on this P3, and if they can't get good time back here, they will find these hills are going to start chaining in a very bad way against them, as Kratos got 2, Exy got 3, and he's trying to hold on, stop the incoming storm, and they are holding on just about, to be fair. On and off the first 20 seconds of this point, but Primal just moving their way up, getting more and more kills, and ultimately picking up this point, 80 to 27 in what has been definitely a better showing from Last Hope, but ultimately the scoreline does not really tell a tale of that. Already 60 points down and counting, very much looking like it'll be 80 off this point, and given the way the spawns are looking, we could be seeing another 100 point deficit before we go back onto P1, which is exactly what we seen in that map 1. So the hard point story seemingly ringing true for this side once again, just not their mode, as Primal are completely dominant in all areas. Meanwhile, you do have Limited on that 6 streak, 14 and 5. Seems to love a hard point as he just pops off. He knows exactly where to be. He's getting around, he's getting these picks. And you have to applaud the reads of the map. He just has them on strings. As Phenom now trying to get around the back for a side 5 and 12. I mean, every single player except really for Kratos has just been completely nullified this game. Primal are having complete control of this one. Kratos just holding down that time for his side, trying to gain a little bit back. Limited around with the push. He's on the chase and he's gonna pick that up. Another 3 down, back onto P1, and they are going to be in the lead by over 100 points. Primal showing what the levels are here on Respawn. Last Hope, a terrific search and destroy squad it seems, but just not having what it takes on the Respawn, and unfortunately for them, Respawn is 3 out of the 2 that you're going to have to play in any CDL variant. Last Hope on the scrap. Be a good 20 seconds to scrap for them, but they need to chain so much together now, and the kills just aren't coming their way enough to make you think that they're going to be able to do that. Dynamo with 1 on the point. Make that 2 with Exium getting 1. Dynamo with the 3. And now 1 minute 10 in Hill and counting. He's got the scrap for Primal, and it's like they're just taking turns now of who's going to have their moments. All the boys on the side of Primal are stepping up to the plate and getting the job done. Flammy B with 1, pushing on to the point. Nades coming in. XT trying to get this push going. He's going to pick up a big kill. 180 to 64. Maybe too little too late for the side of Last Hope, but they're giving one last stab at it, folks. Remember, a loss for them essentially means that they are not hitting the playoffs, whereas Primal absolutely will be, if I have done my math correctly. This is the battle for that 6th and final spot in Group B. And so far, it does look like Primal are going to be the victors of that battle. Who, again, even if they lost this one, still have time to claim it. But Last Hope would need not just perfection in this series, but every series going forward. And to begin with here, they would need a miracle. Unfortunately, that miracle does not look like it's going to come their way. They've gotten that deficit to under 100, but that's going to quickly swing back the other way as Flammy B popping off now. Limited in with the Hellstorm, and they're looking to finish it off right here and now. Only taking out 1, but now they're going to be able to pinch in from both sides of this kitchen. Limited waiting for his teammates, and then just pops up. It's Kratos who's the last alive, but he's going to be trapped, surrounded, engulfed by the sweet embrace of Primal's Gunny. And ladies and gentlemen, 200 to 100. Last Hope have the spawn. This is their last hope. How many times will I make a pun like that in this series? Flammy B taken out. But ultimately Primal are there for the trades and they have the point. Limited with the hold. Kratos. Mistakes were made. Flying off the map. Floundering, it seems. 225 to 100. We're not going to get 100 point clubbed at least. As Limited picks up 2. Picks up 3. And that is probably going to be that, ladies and gentlemen. I believe map number 1 was 103 to 250. And the story not going to be very different here at all. Yes, it was 250 to 103, and ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be 250 to 100 as Primal come away with the victory in map number 4. 3-1 in this series, and that means that Primal, I believe, will have secured themselves their playoff spot, whereas Last Hope will be knocked out of the COD Ireland League Season 1 in Division 1. So massive commiserations to them. But congratulations to Primal, who get the job done. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Map number 1, 250 to 103 for the side of Primal on a protocol hardpoint. Then Search and Destroy sends us on a loop as Last Hope come away with a convincing victory there. Map number 3, things were a little more mixy, but ultimately looked like they were always going to favor Primal, who come away with that control 3-2. And then lastly on the Skyline hardpoint, what we said rung true in terms of how teams can play on that one with confidence and if they feel themselves on respawn, and Primal almost replicating exactly what happened on that map number 1, but 3 score the difference. 250 to 100 means that they come away with this series 3-1, and huge congratulations to them. So folks, I've got you here. Let's have a little talk. We're going to keep this short and sweet. We're not going to delay. We're going to get right to the point, ladies and gentlemen. I know why some of y'all are still here, and that is because you're curious about some things that we are going to be bringing you in COD Ireland going into 2025. And a couple of things that I can reveal to you, again, having to still be relatively vague on some of these stuff, but it's more information than players have now. So we're opening up the information slowly but surely. What I can tell you all about a potential LAN in 2025 is that talks have been going very well on the initial, and they will resume in 2025, where at the beginning of 2025, where a whole lot still needs to be sorted out, a whole lot, but everything so far is currently looking promising. What I will tell you is that it won't be completely independent LANs. The reason why they won't be completely independent LANs is because ultimately, to be able to fund that, we would need some sort of sponsorship or funding, which hasn't come through the door for us yet. We would love to find it, but we realize that we are very new in the space. So to turn around to a potential sponsor who and convince them to have the trust in us to be able to have it worth associating their brand name to, and having that be a drive financially to be able to run something like a LAN, it's a tough ask, because ultimately, folks, no matter what way you swing it, when we run a LAN, whether it's independent or not, we are most likely set to make a loss on it as COD Ireland, as ZC Esports, as a company. We will make a loss most likely on trying to pull a LAN together, unless something comes our way in terms of a sponsorship or an opportunity that has not presented itself as of yet. But for what we want to run, we've always been very open with the fact that, you know, we will not run something unless it's something that we want to run, in the sense of, if we're trying to throw something together based off what other people, what other external factors want of COD Ireland, that won't happen. COD Ireland will only do a LAN if it's under COD Ireland's terms and conditions for what a LAN needs to provide for its players, and in that, so far, the talks are going really well. So that's all I want to say in the matter for now. It won't be an independent LAN, but it'll be a LAN certainly on our terms, and the talks are going really well for that, and you will hear more in 2025. But folks, for the immediate, what all of you want to hear right here is a little bit about Season 2. Season 2, folks. What I will tell you right here and now, Season 2 is going to consist of more divisions than ever. We are hoping for 4, it could be 3, it could be more, depending on the signups. We aimed for 24 signups in Season 1, and we ended up with over 40, but whittling a couple down due to time constraints, we ended up with 38. So we are hoping for around 48 for Season 2. Could be an overestimate, who knows, we'll have to see. Which means that we'll be looking to run 4 divisions, is the way we're thinking about it. But that could change. It all depends on the level of players. It'll be a tiered division system in terms of buy-in. So Division 2 this season had to pay the same amounts as Division 1, and we're ultimately getting way less in the prize pool. That's obviously not fair. We want teams' buy-ins to be a little more reflective of the prize pool that they are playing for, so we are making that tiered across the divisions. But the choice of division that you enter into still comes down to us in regards to your skill level as a player. So be ready as a player to pay the max amount, which is in Division 1 this next season a little higher. It is a little higher. I can tell you the Division 1 for a team will be €50. Division 2, I think, will be around 40. Division 3 will be 35. Division 4 will be 30. So Division 4 will actually be cheaper than what we ran this Division 1 in. And I know that the cost of entering is a little more for this season, but folks, we ran it as we did for our entry season, and at the end of the day, every other league runs it at higher. I mean, every other league, they're starting at like £30-35, which is the worth of closer to €40. We done ours at €32, which for a lot of people, if they watch in the UK, that is the worth of about £27-28, which is by far like the lowest that you would see for a league entry. So we've upped our fee to match the landscape a little bit more, and again, know that this is all going into, as I said, it's going into the business, and the business is trying to bring you these LANs, these tournaments, whatever, and all of that goes into a pool to help offset the costs of running those things. So for those of you who may be questioning having to pay a little bit more, you know, we promise you that money doesn't go anywhere else than straight back in here. As a matter of fact, the money that has been earned through some of the COD Ireland stuff, we may actually be using that to purchase quite a good software in terms of production for streaming, to be able to bring way better produced content to you guys when it comes to streaming experiences. I'm still in the very early stages of testing that out on my end, so no words on that yet, but just believe us when we say that everything that comes through is being fed back to you in terms of the quality of what we can bring you here. That's an absolute fact. And more on season 2 as well will come shortly, but I've had a lot of people asking when the sign-ups are going to open. Now, there's a couple of things that we need to sort out with them yet. That ultimately means I have to get up damn early tomorrow morning and get to work on getting them sorted. But if the timings align, if timeframes aren't changed and everything is on track, sign-ups will open at 6 p.m. tomorrow. You heard me right, folks. Season 2 of the COD Ireland League will begin around January 24th, with sign-ups closing on January 17th. And the sign-ups for that season will open tomorrow. So you have just under a month to get your team signed up from the moment that goes live. So folks, if you want to take part in season 2, make sure to be on our socials, in our Discord, to get ready to be able to sign up to that. And make sure to have information ready, folks. The amount of information that we needed to go back and chase players for afterwards was a lot. So the form for actually signing up is way longer than it was in season 1, because we asked for each piece of information one by one to ensure that all information is relayed, so we don't have to do as much chasing back and forth, because as the league grows, that simply becomes unsustainable. And when I kid you not from saying that 10-12 hours a day for the 2 weeks prior to season 1 started was purely spent on admin on the back end side of things. So we are streamlining the process here on our end as well as for your end to improve the experience. So do make sure to have all the information ready for your team when you do sign up, and then we will be in contact over making sure we get you in for season 2 of that league. But folks, season 1 of the league goes on a little break at the end of this week. This is the last broadcast of 2024, but we do go on a break over the Christmas, and we are back on the first week of January for the playoffs, where teams will be rushing to get through the first round or so over the course of 3 or 4 days. And then from week 2's Tuesday onwards, I believe, if I've got the timings right, the playoff games will be featured on stream, so you'll be able to see each and every one of the playoff games here on COD Ireland, provided that all runs well. And we will hope to have the grand final of the COD Ireland Season 1 League for both Division 2 and Division 1 on January 11th or 12th. Will all be confirmed on socials and in the Discord when we have more information, so do make sure to check out that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave it there. So, as you can see, Primal coming away with the victory, 3-1 in a well-fought series. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you guys on the other side of 2024. And I gotta say to you, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year when it comes. Until then, we'll see you soon.